Welcome back. This is Frederick John. Today we're going to be taking a look at Sparkle. We're going to be jumping right in and starting to build a website with the software. So if you don't have Sparkle already, like I said, it's only available for Mac. You can download it at their website, which is sparkle.cx. Sparkle is going to take care of all of the hard tasks for you so that you can really focus on your content and delivering that content to your visitors. This is a blank page. I've just opened up a new document here. You'll see we have, it's untitled. We have the title at the top. Zoom is at 100%, and we have page 1. Now, it's just going to show a blank page. You could see the canvas here is defined by these two lines. It's got one line on the left, one line on the right. I can scroll down to the bottom, and I could bring the bottom of the page up or down. If we know that we want to add more pages, we can do so with this plus button right here, and then click Add a Page. You'll see now we have page 1 and page 2. If we wanted to add another page, it's the same thing. We just click Add Page. Now it also gives us the option to add a section. A section is a collection of pages. So if you have related content that belongs together, you can add a section, and then the pages will all be within that section. For example, if you have a company and one of the tabs on your navigation menu is Our Company, one of the pages could then be Bob, the CEO. Another page could be Karen, the CFO. And then when a person is navigating around your page, they'll come to the Our section. They'll come to the Our Company section, and that will give them a drop-down list, and they'll be able to see, okay, Bob is the CEO, Karen is the CFO, and they'll be able to navigate directly to their profile, and that's one of the benefits of the sections. So you'll see over here is the inspector, and that's going to tell us what we are working with right now. Is this going to be our home page or a regular page? Let's call page 1 our home page. Instead of page 1, we'll give it a more unique name. We'll call it our welcome page. And we have some keywords or a keyword option in the other information section. That's important for search engines like Google and Bing, Yahoo, for them to be able to find your site and serve it to the user. They're going to use, one of the things that they're going to do is use these keywords. So if your site is about llamas, you're going to make sure you want to have the keyword llama, and we'll go into keywords a little bit later, but it's important to know that Sparkle doesn't just take care of the appearance and design of your site. They're going to search engine optimization. They have features that are going to take care of that for you. We're going to click on the background fill, and we're going to fill the entire background with this blue color. So now you can see our entire page has a blue background. That's our welcome page. We have page 2. Now, Sparkle recognizes we already have a home page. This is a second page, and they've made that a regular page for us. The title of our page can be about llama introduction. It's going to give our page a name, llama introduction, and we can have a description right here. This is our page description, and the same thing, keywords. Our background on this page can be, let's use this pink color. Now you can see we have our different pages here. And one of the other things that I want to show you about the background, we don't have to just use a color. We can also use a built-in pattern. A built-in pattern is going to be these patterns that are already built right into Sparkle. You don't have to pay anything extra. You don't have to purchase them. They come in the software right out of the box. You can use them. There's a ton of different options, as you can see. Let's say we want to go with leather. It's going to give us this leather background. Let's say we want to go with pinstripe, or we want to go with concrete wall. And it gives a ton of different green dust. gives a ton of different backgrounds. Oh, here's one, pool table. So this looks like a pool, like the felt that would be on a pool table. So let's say you have a company and you're selling billiard equipment, and you have pool balls and pool sticks, and you can use this as the background, and right away, as soon as your customers land on your site, they're going to recognize this, they're going to see this, and they're going to know exactly what that is. And it's a nice feature to be able to have that. So for right now, I'm going to change the background just to match the site that we have right now. For our example, I'm just going to make it pink to match the other one. So we have to the right here our page inspector, we have to the left our pages, and then up here you can see we have a device option and a grid option. Now for the device option, it's going to offer different layouts that we can use. That's going to show us that we're currently using the landscape for PCs, tablets, and it's going to show us that we're at 960 pixels. This is an awesome feature for a development tool. It gives us different layouts that we can choose from, different pixels that we can choose from, so that way if someone is using a smartphone or someone is using a tablet or a desktop, we're going to be able to see what our site looks like on their view. Now that is awesome, because a lot of developers, a lot of companies right now, they're doing the mobile first approach. And the mobile first approach is you build a website first on a mock-up of a small device, and then when a person views that on a larger device, it scales out. The reason is because if you have a website and people are viewing it and they're viewing it on a smaller device, everything gets kind of squished together, and sometimes the content completely disappears, sometimes it overlaps and it's completely unreadable. And the best approach to take right now, because people are using phones to view the internet more and more, every year the numbers go up. The number of mobile devices that are viewing sites increases from year to year. So the approach right now is a mobile first approach. This lets us view from phones, tablets, desktops right in our design while we're developing, so that we can cater to those devices, and our site will be responsive, and we won't have to worry about a mobile user viewing our site and not being able to see something, or the site not working properly. Next, we have this grid option here. Now I have the grid turned off so that way I can explain it to you, but it will normally be turned on by default. The default option is a 12 column grid. So as you can see here, it gives us 12 columns in order to easily display content and have a system for where everything is going to go and how it's going to lay out. The 12 columns is very popular. It's what Bootstrap uses, which is a very popular front-end framework. It allows you to easily decide where items are going to go. You don't have to use 12. I use 12 usually by default. Sometimes I'll use 16 when I'm working with Semantic UI. That's another front-end framework. You can use as many as you feel comfortable with. If you prefer to use 6 or you prefer to use 4, then you can design the website however you like. Whatever works best for you. Just know that they are there. The gutter is the number of pixels that is between the columns. So you'll see here we have 12 columns, and the spaces in between each column is separated with a gutter, and that gutter is 20 pixels. And now it's time to look at the toolbar, which is one of the more exciting parts of building your website. So let's take a look at the toolbar. You'll be spending most of your time in the canvas area, in the inspector area, and then kind of deciding what you're going to be using, what objects you're going to be using from the toolbar. So let's take a look at what objects we have. We have a structure object called a box, and then we have another one called a wide box. So let's take a look at the difference. This box here, we'll color them, and also take note that when we were looking at our background options and we came over to the page inspector, it's only one tab. If we select an object such as the box, now when we go over to our inspector, we have a style tab, an arrangement tab, and then also our page inspector. So to style this object, we would use the inspector here. Now you'll see that I have colored it in red, and we can change that to any color that we want. It accepts a hash. You can get that the alphanumeric color offline if you know you want to use a specific color. So you can change it to any color you want, and you can change the opacity so that it could be see-through. Okay, so right now we're going to put one box on top of the other, or one box behind the other, however you want to look at it. And I don't want to use that color. And if you remember when I was explaining the different formatting options that we have some options here for arrangement. So if we have some boxes on the page and we have some boxes here that are overlapping, now this is going to come up where you have some content, you have it overlapping, but it's not the way that you want it to be. Right now, our red box is all the way in the back. We have these options here that bring things forward. Now this one, you could see the blue box has been brought all the way to the front. So being that it's in the back now, if I click on this blue box, it will bring it all the way to the front. You'll see that this object here, this will bring it one layer forward, which would mean it's in front of one box but not the other. So let's see what happens if I click on this. Okay, it moved it one layer forward. It moved it in front of the black box, but the red box is still behind the purple box. So you can use Control Z if you want to undo the last event, which is the same as going to Edit and Undo Move Element. Okay, so now let's try all the way to the front. See, now it moved the red box all the way to the front. And if I wanted to move it back just one, I can just click back one. It's behind the purple, but in front of the black. And then if I want to do that again, it's all the way in the back now. So in regards to formatting, in regards to arrangement, these are going to be some key buttons for you to use and take advantage of when you're placing items on your page. Now you can see here we have a wide box. If I have a box and I want to make it wider, I can simply adjust it, and I can adjust it to the length of my canvas area. But I cannot adjust it any further than that. We have some boundaries, and this is with any site builder that you use. There's going to be some things that are built in that are limitations, and every site pretty much uses some type of container to hold the content in. Our container is going to be our canvas. So as you can see, I have this going the entire width of the canvas, but it will not span the entire width of the browser. So in order to solve that problem, Sparkle uses the wide box. The wide box spans the entire width of the browser. So if I want to have something, maybe a navigation bar, and I want it to go all the way across the top, the entire width of the browser, I'd want to use the wide box, because the wide box is going to span that entire width. If I just span the width of the canvas, it's not going to reach across the entire browser. And now might be a good time to demonstrate some of the previewing capabilities of Sparkle. As I mentioned, the wide box will go the entire width of the browser. This will go the entire width of our canvas. So we'll explore the settings in just a moment. Right now, let's look at the preview option. You can see it lets me open it up in different browsers. I have Safari and Chrome on my computer. Chrome is my default browser, and I can also open up the website on a mobile device for previewing. Right now I'm going to just use the computer, and I'm going to open up a live preview in my default browser, Chrome. So you can see here across the top we have the wide box spanning the width of the browser. That doesn't matter if I make the browser wider, it's going to stay with the width of 100%. And you can see here our canvas area is this black box right here. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Sparkle really lets you focus on your content, and it really lets you focus on creatively delivering that content to your end user, your end visitor of the web page. So you can see we have our preview here. It's given us a preview in the browser, showing us exactly what it will look like, so that now we know, okay, this is the length of this box, and this one goes across the entire screen. Now I can actually make changes. Let me bring these up at the same time. I can make changes and it will update in real time. So if I decide, you know what, I'm not sure how this red looks, I think that maybe it would look a little bit better in this color. It's going to change right away. As soon as I make that change, maybe a half-second delay. It's a real time. You don't have to constantly hit refresh or worry about refreshing the page, because everything that you do is updated right away in the live preview. So if you want to make changes, you're going to be able to see the result of those changes instantly. Now this makes it really easy to design and develop websites, because as you're making the changes, you could say, oh no, I was wrong. That's not a really good color. That doesn't look nice at all. I think it would look much better if we change that to something, let's say, a lot lighter. And I think that we should also add some rounding to the corners and add a little shadow on this side maybe. There we go. Essentially, you don't have to worry about the how. You just have to worry about the what. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to put on the screen? You don't have to worry about how it gets there. Sparkle is going to take care of that for you. They're going to make sure that everything on the back end gets created that needs to get created to accomplish what you want. So you really just focus on what it is that you want to do and let Sparkle focus on everything else. It makes designing websites and it makes developing websites fun, because everything becomes easy, and the creative process becomes one focused on design rather than trying to integrate features that maybe have some complicated aspects to them. You don't have to worry about any of that. So we've seen how the preview works. Let's take a look at the different settings. So here, the general website settings are here. You'll find them. You can look at these and adjust them accordingly to your preference. The website icon, you're probably going to want to have a little favicon, and then they adjust it accordingly to the device that's going to be viewing your website. Analytics, all you have to do is sign up for Google Analytics, which is free, and Google Analytics gives you a code, and you can easily just paste your code right in there. It also offers an option for a privacy policy, so you can add that to your page. And the last setting is going to offer publishing options. So with the free version of Sparkle, you have the option to publish your website online with Sparkle's built-in FTP, which is your file transfer protocol. So you're going to have the Sparkle watermark, but essentially they don't disrupt your website in any way. They let you have your full website and functionality and everything, just with the Sparkle watermark. And it's a great way to build a website, deploy a website, and once you've decided that Sparkle is a great tool, you want to buy it, all you have to do is add your license key, and then the watermark will go away. Once you have the license, you'll also be able to export the project to your local machine. You'll be able to export it to a directory, and all of the project files and everything will be created for you. They will create the CSS, the HTML, the JavaScript files, everything that your project's going to require is going to be created for you, and you can export that to your local machine and upload it anytime. So you'll have several different options once you have your license, and then during the free trial, like I said, you can deploy it right to your web server with the built-in FTP or secure FTP, whichever you choose. So now that we've seen how to navigate around Sparkle, the settings and preview options, let's take a look at some of the elements that we can add to the page. This will be a preview for the next video, in which case we're going to be actually adding some content to our website. So far you've seen that we can add boxes and we can change the color of the background. There's also in the toolbar many other different elements that we can add. Another quick way to add elements is at the top in the menu bar there's an insert button, and then you can insert a text box, a map, video, image, audio. There's also shortcuts for all of these. If you're within your project, and you could just type T or V, and it's going to automatically populate on the screen. So to give you an example of that, I'll just type T, and you can see a text box is created. Now, one popular practice that you'll see is if you are just creating a website and you want to have a placeholder, you can insert the lorem ipsum text. That will create some text for you. Basically, this is a very old method of creating placeholder text that was used in the early days of printing. It's been around for a few hundred years. So it's kind of an old school method that web developers adopted and continue to use. So we'll use that for here just to create some placeholder text. And then going back to our keyboard shortcuts, I'm going to press V for video. It's going to populate a video placeholder. You'll notice on the inspector over here, it's going to give me several different options. Right now it's a placeholder, but I could add a YouTube video, Vimeo, video right from my hard disk. It's going to have options for auto playing and showing relating videos. So this is something that we're going to talk about once we are actually going to embed a video. Just wanted to show you that it is one of the options. Images, same thing. It's going to give me an image placeholder that I can put right on the screen here, and it's going to have a lot of options for images. It's going to give me actual places where I can go and select images, okay, right from the Pixabay website, which is going to be under the Creative Commons license, which means you can use them without having any copyright infringements. These are public, photos that fall within the public domain, so you can use these freely. You can have access to these images, put them right on your site, and it's probably the most convenient option for picking out images. It's probably the most convenient way to pick out images, and they're quality images that are free to use. It certainly beats hunting through Google and trying to find an image like that. A lot of them are basic stock photography that have watermarks, or they're images that could possibly be copyrighted, but the copyright is not shown, so you could have someone actually file a copyright claim if you're not careful. So this is a great way to get images because you know that you can use them, and the access is right there. It's very easy to get the images. And then of course you're going to want to make sure that your website is hooked up to your social media accounts. The options for Twitter and Facebook and linking them up are really simple. You can kind of embed your tweets, or you can just have a pointer that goes to your Facebook or Twitter. There's several different options. So right now I'm just going to use some placeholders and kind of place them there. So one of the things that I hope that you notice is while I'm moving things around on the screen, you'll see that there's these green lines that show up, and they're going to show me if something is properly aligned or not. And you can see here it has 3 lines between the Twitter icon and the Facebook icon, and that's showing me that in the top, middle, and bottom, everything there is lined up. Okay, so this video and getting started with Sparkle, we examined the layout of the Sparkle software, and we talked about how to add pages and sections. We looked at the inspector and how we can make boxes on the screen and style those boxes. And we looked at how to add some different content to the screen, some text content, videos, some colored boxes, images. And in the next video, we're going to actually start putting some content purposefully and mindfully on our website, and we're going to actually start building our welcome page, and we're going to look at building a navigation menu and linking our pages together, and we're going to start making our website and make it look nice. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.